So I've been seeing on social media a lot where a lot of girls are putting down the law. They're laying down the law on their dates. Okay, so if you don't spend a certain amount on them, then it's not a date. All right, if you don't come off of you know enough money to make it worth their time on the date, then it's not even a date, and they're not really considering you a dateable person. Now, my question is not, you know, what is the dollar amount or, you know, the efficacy of judging how much a person is worth talking to based on how much money they have. That's another thing. My question is, no matter what amount of money it is, why are you worth that? Like, I don't know you, you don't know me, but automatically you have assumed a worth for yourself that you expect me to assume as well. Like I like confidence. I like that you know your worth and that you respect your time and your efforts. What I don't understand is why you think that another person should do the same. Like our instinct as a human being, our charge from the Almighty is that we are allowed to place our own value on things that we think are good and bad. Why are you automatically? Because this isn't feminism. It's not feminism to look at a person and say, "Hey, I'm worth this. Agree with me." At least not in my opinion. I am glad that I don't date nowadays because I probably couldn't do it. I probably couldn't go out on dates because I would be telling women straight up, I don't date hoes. Well, I'm not a hoe. Well, you just said that I had to pay you for your time, and all you're offering me is heel tips and fingertips. That's not a hoe to me. But I digress. This is Tattoo with Children. I am your host, Flavor Ray, here in Seat A. Across from me in Seat B is the Dread Pirate Benjamin, and across from us both is the incomparable CIO No Pain. Guys,
What's up?
I've got to start it into some deep water right away. We can continue with that, or we can go with something different. But I kind of like this one.
Okay. All right. Expound.
Well, I don't really want to expound per se. Like I don't want to give a whole philosophy on men and women dating. Because like I said, I don't date. Uh, I don't date because I'm married to a wonderful woman. I have a wonderful family, so I don't have to. And in the era where I grew up, dating involved things like dollar movies, dollar shows, and maybe a couple slices of pizza from the pizza buffet, and a lot of conversation. That's how I used to date. Nowadays, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Like you can be funny as hell, you can have all the personality in the world, but at least if you're to believe social media,
Yeah.
if you're not dropping a dime being $100 just on that other person,
Yeah.
they literally don't want to have a second conversation.
Interesting.
Which, yeah, I found interesting too.
Okay, but let's think about that for a minute because see, I mean, since we've kind of had our pulse to the finger, our pulse to the wrist of at least local society for a while,
Right.
and we've been hearing for a while like everything's changed.
Yeah.
Like I mean, used to like you had to get certain, to get to that place you wanted to get sexually, like as a man or a woman, like you had to get married.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you had to get married and put 5 years in.
Right.
Well, nowadays that shit's done, man. Like
Yeah.
if you're on a third date, like you might as well be with Pamela Anderson. Like
Yeah.
I mean, and we're talking about high school still.
Yeah.
So do you think it's a retaliation or a response to that where we moved very, very quickly without much honesty, without much communication, we moved very, very quickly into a hypersexual society?
I really do think that women have decided, like girls and women have decided that sex sooner is better, because if you have sex sooner, then you get to know each other better, and you get to know what you like and don't like, and you can know it's a good opening act, I think, for a lot of people now. And I've talked to people, and they have said, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
So yeah, I like having sex early.
Okay, so
that's a different
but
dynamic.
Wouldn't that be in response to, because now that's expected from the male side? Like, oh, what? We went on 2 dates and you haven't done X, Y, and Z for me. And I'd rather refrain from specifics at this point, but you haven't done X, Y, and Z from me, and we've been on 2 dates. So now the women are saying, hey, like, you're not going to spend money on me, fuck you.
Yeah,
Or rather, don't fuck you.
well,
Okay, I mean, New Jersey makes a point.
I can absolutely understand that, but the same way, I don't think it's right for a guy to have that expectation. Like again, dudes, okay, you're on a first date or even a second date, and you haven't gotten a hand job or head yet, and you think something's wrong. Like, what makes you worth it? What have you brought to the table? Like, what is it? Like, why should this person give you any part of their body for you, a person that they barely know? Like, I mean, like this. I guess this is the old man in me at this point, but I really want to know the answer to the question. Like, how are we valuing ourselves, and how are we offering that value to other person? It kind of goes back to what Gary Vee was saying about time. Like, people overvalue their time. It's like, well, is it worth my time to put in this application, to try for this thing? Said, well, right now your time is worth nothing. Right now your time is worth dick off. There's not doing anything with it.
Yeah.
So right now I don't know you. So your value as a person right now is no more than the value of a person, any other person on the planet that I don't know.
Yeah.
Why on earth would I, chance my physical being with you if I don't know anything about you? Why on earth would I I have bills, I have, other shit to do with my money. Give me a reason.
I think though that okay, so what you're digging for is the what's underneath. And,
Yes.
And okay, so well, my first idea, I think we all agree that wasn't it. Let's go with the second idea now and see if that sounds any truer. The truth is, I think we've spent. God, I'm gonna go there. I think we've spent 20 years, and I think it's 20 years. I think we've gone since 2000 giving away the responsibility of who we are to other people.
Let's go with this. I think he's right.
So, in other words, we've become accustomed to accepting what others say about us
As truth.
as truth.
Let me give you an example of this in a very indelicate, very like this is one of the things that get us in trouble for sure. So years ago, a friend of ours called got his son's cell phone, and on that cell phone was a bunch of his son's peers, female peers, doing all sorts of graphic sexual acts for his son's gratification on the cell phone. And it hit both me and Ben at the same time that this was not the first time that they had done this. This wasn't the second time they had done this. In fact, these girls had been doing things like fisting themselves since they were probably 14 to 13 years old. So, yeah, I'm talking about your daughter, whoever you are listening. Your 13-year-old daughter today, for the Snapchat, is probably expanding her own asshole. And she's doing it because of the people that are on Snapchat, not because she wants to.
I don't
It's
know
because
yeah.
of recognition. Like maybe she wants to now.
Okay.
Maybe
Sure,
she's
sure, but
Right, it's become a thing.
It's become a thing.
thing. But here's what I'm going to say, Ray. I'm going to go back further because I really you this is a really touchy issue with me
Yeah, I know.
because you fucking blame the kids and I'm going to go off on you.
I don't want to blame them.
Okay, but that means then that this child learned it from their parents.
Yes.
So what they learned from growing up in a household, let's say from 1995 to 2015, is that your value comes from other people.
exactly.
Your value does not come from yourself; it comes from other people.
And I think we've taken that homegrown message of your value comes from other people, and we've expanded it to the entire culture.
Yes, I would say that that's accurate. I would say that it is very difficult to name more than the fingers I have of people who actually completely understand day in and day out. They're not perfect, they're human, they have flaws, they show those flaws, but their value comes from themselves. I would say I know less than the fingers I have.
I really,
And I'm talking about no. I'm talking about friends with.
yeah, yeah. You know, like I'm trying to think of a situation in which a person would have learned something different in the last 20 years. Like I'm racking my brain of like if a kid makes music right now, he's not going to think that music is worthwhile until it has a certain number of downloads from SoundCloud. Like I saw like a kid just recently
Yeah.
contact me on IG like last week.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey man, I just got this. I just recorded this new freestyle on SoundCloud. Man, tell me should I release it or should I just dump it?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Why are you asking me?" I was like, "Dude, if you like it, man, just go with it."
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, if it's trash, nobody can tell you that it's trash."
Right.
But except he knows what the truth.
Yeah.
That if everybody says it's trash, then in reality, to him, it's going to be trash.
Right.
This is a really weird juxtaposition, though, okay? Because all three of us have accepted the fact that this one line is true.
Okay.
The new currency is attention. Okay? So that being a true statement, at least for our purposes, okay? It leaves open this massive possibility that if the new currency is attention, then the next step is that you gain more attention by having something that is popularly validated. And I think that's kind of where we start hitting the difficulties in what you guys are saying, is that people are associating and inherently knowing that attention is a currency. And now it's the wrong kind of attention.
Well, I know it's the wrong kind of attention, but is your value based on currency?
Yeah, that's what I was about to. I was wondering. Okay, Mike, back up for a second though, because I mean, we were poor growing up, like 8 kids in a household that made $32,000 a year. But I mean, I don't ever.
I'm not.
Like I have had, yeah, I have a hard time with that.
I'm not arguing that value, that your personal value, that one's personal value should be measured in attention or in dollars. I'm saying that prior to that 20 years, right, there is a natural tendency to value, to associate our value with a currency, from the old times on. You get paid a certain amount of money per hour of your time.
Yeah,
that decides your value as a human resource, right?
And currency equals
switched.
Time is what we've always said. Like time is money.
Time is money, right? So I'm saying the currency has kind of flipped to a degree, right? It's now attention, and so we're applying those same values before, right, that we had before to the new currency, which is attention, which is creating this validation issue.
Yeah, but isn't that fairly recent? Attention being the new currency, that's like a recent concept.
I would 100% agree with that. I would say that the switch over started about 20 years ago when you go back to where this started, right?
Okay.
All I'm saying is that it's something that we've done for more than 20 years, but in 20 years we've seen this flip towards it being attention as the value generator, right? As opposed to it being your job and the money that you make.
I think I see two things changed along with it. The other thing that changed was, like, when I was a kid 12, 13 years old, I wasn't really expected to earn any money for my household. Whereas now, if I was 13 years old, I would be expected to earn attention from my household. Does that make any sense? Like I'm expected to have an Instagram and maybe a TikTok and maybe a YouTube channel and things like that because that's just what 13-year-olds do now. And if attention's the currency, that means they're earning currency with their time, and that throws a whole dynamic onto your self-image. You know, your self-image all of a sudden becomes about how much can you earn, and your earning skill that you're earning with is your life, your life, your talent, your everyday being, and that's the slippery slope of putting a intrinsic real world value on your existence, and I think that is I think that's inherently dangerous. Maybe not bad, but it definitely seems inherently dangerous to me. All right, let's take a quick break.
Everybody dancing, dog. Y'all on that X. I'm a sentinel, standing tall. No time to stand still. Please don't meander, dog. They're throwing jazz at me to challenge my rap savvy. I sway like Callaway. I'm ahead. You'll never catch me. Ain't worried about
All right, anyway, guys, get back with us on social media, on IG messaging or Twitter messaging. Let us know how do you feel about how today's culture values you. Is attention the new currency? Are our lives and our talents measurable in a tangible form, such that if a person does not bring a certain amount of something, then they're automatically not worth your time or worth your effort. Things like that. Just give us a little talk back on that, and we'll expand on that in a future segment. All right, Howard, man, what you got over there? You're drawing over there.
Yeah, no, I'm just doodling. So I did a live stream, I guess you would call it, last night.
Okay.
I don't know if any of y'all picked up on it, but I had an idea. I had a cancellation. Totally cool client, badass dude from NAC, and totally understandable what he's going through. I wasn't mad about it. You know, he texted me, said, "Hey man, I'm not gonna be able to come in Saturday, and you know, I wish I could, but I can't. And I want to. I would really like, you know." I would really like to set a future date, but these financial troubles I've got, they're not letting me.
Yeah.
So I said, hey man, no worries. Like, I understand. I got a life too, and you know, shit gets tough. But so anyway, I walked outside and I was like, man, that's kind of a bummer. And then I was like, nah, you know, I just got back from Wildwood. I'm not gonna have a bad time. You know, I'm not gonna do that. So I jumped on IG Live and I said, hey guys, I'm going to do a thing, and Saturday night I'm going to do, and I know this may come out after Saturday night, but whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
Saturday night at 6 o'clock, I'm going to tattoo 6 people for $66.
Okay. That's a lot of sixes. Is that more than 3 sixes, or exactly 3 sixes?
Well, I mean, I think I did 3 sixes. So,
okay.
So in other words, 6 people, $66 Saturday night.
Okay.
Okay? I just, you know, I didn't name the time then. I think I just said Saturday night. So, but the caveat, and there is a big caveat here, by the way.
All right, let's hear
it. You don't get to see what I'm tattooing first.
That is a huge fucking caveat. That's one of those massive elephant in the room, fuck you kind of caveats. Like, oh my God, I know this kind of party, everybody's naked kind of caveats.
Speaking from experience, though, this is exactly how I function with Ben as my artist for tattoos.
I will say that about Ben Harbuck. Ben, if you trust Ben, come into Black Light Tattoo and say, hey man, tattoo me, here's the money. What do you want on it? I don't care. You will get something so incredible that you will probably change your life, maybe for the worse, but you'll definitely be different.
Yeah, absolutely. But what that led me to is that okay? So remember the favorite segment of mine, the hand licking.
Right.
Okay, so is that a thing is that a thing that bothers people?
What? What?
Getting a tattoo on Saturday night,
Yeah.
being one of 6 people for $66,
Yeah.
and you don't get input except where it goes. Now, you guys know me, and so you're saying it's normal.
Is that a thing that bothers people? Yes, it's a definitely thing that bothers people. It's not because somebody can love your art
Yeah.
and still want to be included on something that goes on their skin permanently. I mean, that's normal. I think what will bother them more though is the inherent arrogance of the artist. You know, it's like, all right, no matter what I put on you, you're going to definitely love it. And their first thought is, what if I don't? You know,
it kind of tricks the mind into saying, I'm going to do everything I can to not love this.
Yes. So
I find that unusual.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I don't think it's. I've already said how I got my first tattoo. My first tattoo was from a guy who did the exact same thing that Ben just said. He put out a call and said, I want to do a full sleeve on an arm. The only caveat is you don't get to pick what it is, but I also want to charge you for it.
Okay.
And I said, okay, here's my arm. And he fucking tattooed me without me giving any input on it.
Right, without you giving any shits.
Without any shits whatsoever.
Okay.
And it's fucking dope as hell.
Yes,
he was an artist that I trusted.
Yeah.
Even though it was my first fucking tattoo and the first time I had met this guy.
Right.
You know, but I'm just that person. I'm not normal per se. I think a normal, and by also that guy put out that message on Facebook, 300 people said, yeah, I'll do it, and then one person showed up.
Right.
You know, that tells you exactly how fucked up that concept is in the normal brain.
But you mentioned something a second ago. You said that you felt like it was an unbelievable amount of arrogance from the perspective of the consumer or the client.
Yes.
That I could believe that this is such a weird segue from our last conversation.
Yeah.
So you're saying that me having the audacity to believe that I could do something dope for 6 people for $66.
There's your new book.
And not let them see it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And their thought is, but what if I don't like it? That's their thought?
Their core thought is, if he has that sort of audacity, he thinks he's that good, he thinks he's that great,
yeah,
then I'm going to like it, then that would have, the only way I can do this is if I also believe that of myself. I have to believe that I am a person that is so fantastic in my own being that whatever goes on my skin, no matter how this guy does it, it's going to be great because I'm just that great.
Okay, but
they have to step to the plate that way.
Do you have something to say, No Pain?
It just, you guys are talking about one simple concept that rhymes with a very popular concept. You guys are talking about the audacity of dope.
Okay, but are you describing a society that has never gotten laid?
Yes.
Because
yes.
Okay, but do you see how my mind went there?
Yeah, I do. Like, and I agree wholeheartedly.
Because I don't get it. I literally do not get it. Like, look, I grew up in a cult. I grew up in a severely Christian home. And when I say severe, I mean like the severity of Mrs. Doubtfire without Robin Williams.
That's pretty severe.
Like, we're talking about Newt Gingrich as Mrs. Doubtfire.
Right.
I grew up
That's
in
terrible.
that home.
Right.
Okay? Keep it together. Keep it together.
I can't.
I'm going to Photoshop that for the cover of this episode.
Motherfucker, we were so close.
As
Okay,
Mrs. Doubtfire.
but even I, like, the year before I had sex for the first time, I memorized a book of the Bible.
Okay.
And then a woman, a female human, touched my penis.
Right.
And it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I immediately knew that all the things I had always felt in my heart were true.
Right.
I was actually dope.
Yes.
So when
I don't think people have that experience.
What experience do they have? Are you wait, hold up. Are you saying that no one touches them?
No, people touch them. I believe that, and this, look, I'm just gonna fucking say it because I'm here.
Hey, we're gonna play music over this part of the segment.
I was gonna say, I believe that probably 60 to 80% of the females in the world that had sex for the first time, they got done and and was asking themselves, okay, was that rape or not?
Okay.
I don't think that the males who participated in that didn't know if they had raped somebody or not. Like it was a very confusing thing for them because.
Is it a lack of education?
It's a lack of education, but it's a lack of. I do not think that people think that they are worth anything. I don't think that that's what they're taught. So they work off the concept before the encounter. They work off the concept of I'm not worth anything. Said, well, the experience says you're worth something. Said, no, that experience was a lie. It was a violation. I made Jesus cry. How is that a good thing?
Okay, but those are two different concepts. I mean, you're saying on the one hand it could have been a bad experience, and on the other hand I went against my religious beliefs.
I don't necessarily think it was a bad experience, and I don't think that they're separating those concepts out. And it's not necessarily religious. It could be just, my dad told me that girls can't come, so what happened to me just then was a violation of the law of nature, according to my dad. And so I didn't like it. I had that conversation with the girl.
Okay, so are you... Yeah, I guess I just don't get it. In other words, I could never have... I'm going to use that word again. I could never have the audacity to make the offer.
Uh-huh.
And it is an offer.
Uh-huh.
I don't tattoo very many people for $66.
No, you don't.
If you've been in Black Spot, you've heard me say it's $800, and yeah, it's a joke, haha. But yeah, man,
it ain't $60.
Yeah, no, I mean it's not gonna happen.
Right.
So like, and also I don't think it's such a weird thing to say, hey, I know something you don't know. I have this dope design. It's cool as shit. I think you ought to come have an experience with me. We'll do this together, and we'll both leave better than we were before. Why? Because we were together. See, that's what I'm implying here. I'm implying here that it's your involvement with me that makes the value such that I can lower the monetary amount, the amount of currency I get.
Right.
But I can raise the experience to a level that will both be better.
Yes.
And that's where I see Ray's point come into play with people. Because here you have a situation, right, where they're trying to set expectations of what this experience is going to be. So they're going to go back to this is a situation that should be something like this deep spiritual connection I have with someone like my first time. And their expectations get blown out of the water that first time because of their misconceptions as to what that experience is supposed to be.
And so now they're like, all right, he is going to do magic with me. So now I have to do magic. I can't do magic. I'm a piece of shit. How do I, what is it? It must be a con. He must be trying to draw a dick in my back. It's like there's got to be something else going on here because obviously I'm not good enough for this. But he's saying that I am, but I'm not. But he's saying that I am, but I'm not. It's like, Ben, I don't think this is a healthy thought process, but I think that it goes on more often than it doesn't. Are you following me here?
I mean, I'm trying to like
Ben, you said we're here together. Okay, we're here together. You are the Hokage. I am vendor A. How can we have an experience together? I haven't done any training for this. I mean, they just inherently don't believe it because they don't believe in themselves. Like how many people have said they're going to do it?
2.
2 is a lot. 2 is actually a lot. I would have expected 1. So that's double of my expectations automatically. Let's see how many people show up.
Yeah.
Hopefully both of them show up.
Yeah.
Let's hopefully get more than that. I mean, I really would like it if you had to do it twice because too many people showed up.
Yeah.
But I'm not shocked if no one else offers.
Yeah.
If that's what I would expect.
Yeah, but I mean this goes back to fuck. I was working on a thing for a friend this morning, and I was looking up song lyrics, and the Sturgill Simpson came across my radar, and he's writing like fucking Tupac right now. If you don't know who Sturgill Simpson is, he's a musician who literally is the reincarnation of Waylon Jennings.
I like that.
I apologize to those of you who don't know who Waylon Jennings is, but he is the reincarnation of Waylon Jennings, but it like his voice is that.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay? But his lyrics are fucking like Pac or Biggie.
Right.
They're straight out of the street. Like it's just straight. It's almost so hard it makes you wince.
Yeah.
You know, he's like at one point he says, so like Jesus, you know, give a brother a break.
Uh-huh.
But if the devil shows up with a better offer,
yeah.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
You know? And I'm just like, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, you can't say that on the radio.
You can't say that.
No wonder they got to go on Rogan to play your shit. You know,
Right.
that's cold.
Yeah.
But it's also true.
Yeah.
And so you look at it, and I guess I just struggle because I don't get it. Like I hear what you're saying, but the same as you and Mike struggled for not understanding, you know, licking someone's hand,
right.
Which to me seems completely normal. I mean, I don't,
right.
you know, I mean, I guess I watched too much Star Trek as a late teenager, but like, I mean, I don't know what other people taste like, so I want to find out, you know, like, I mean, that just seems natural to me.
I don't know how Gene Roddenberry got sucked into that. Did he ever do that? Did he ever?
No. This is Ben's religious education. When you take real science classes, Ben, you learn that the one sense you do not use in science experiments is the sense of taste because it can kill you.
Except in archaeology.
Okay.
In archaeology, you actually do taste rocks.
But I'm gonna fucking disagree with you. I probably I probably missed a class here or there. But the thing about it is, this is how the fucking people are not being educated anymore. This is why I was Jesus Christ, where was I? I was somewhere. I was buying coffee this morning.
Okay.
And the barista selling me my coffee said, "Well, you seem like a smart guy." And I said, "Yeah, but my best friend's 19 months old, so I'm just going to leave that fucking there."
Right.
And she was like, "Well, actually, that sounds pretty smart, like, because people are shit." And I was like, "Hang on, I didn't say she was shit."
See, there you go. See, they just fucking proved my point in your first interaction.
Okay.
This person says people are shit. Then she's not including herself. She's putting herself in that shit box.
Right. When I say I hate people, I mean everyone, including myself.
Including yourself.
So you're saying when you say I hate people, you're actually saying I hate myself?
Yes.
Absolutely. Every single time.
Motherfucker, I have to smoke on that.
I carry the club like Neanderthal, the choir got everybody dancing, dog. Yell on that X, I'm a sentinel, standing tall, no time to stand still, please don't meander, dog. They're throwing jazz at me.
All right, so we just finished up that little segment. It was a little interesting. I want to move on. It occurs to us that perhaps we have been withholding a bit of ourselves from the podcast. Like, you know, maybe you guys are curious about us. We don't really know, but you haven't asked. But before you ask, we're just going to go ahead and start throwing out shit like, you know, random factoids, things you might not know about the three of us. I'm an open book for the most part, so I'm trying to think of something that you don't already know. Like I feel like I did an 8 mile my whole life. Like I've never actually held back, but maybe there's something I can come up with that you guys haven't heard of. While I'm thinking about that, let's go over to Mike. I think Mike might have something.
So, one thing that a lot of people do not know about me is that I may very well be the world's foremost expert in singing Disney animated movie songs when no one else is around.
Expert. That is such a bold, and again, the word of the day is audacious. That is such a bold, audacious claim. I have got to have a fucking sample, or I will call him a liar to his face.
I will do a sample. It has to be in the right environment, but luckily these microphones do make it better. Okay. I never said the singing was good.
Okay.
Okay. But I simply cannot resist. On this 14-hour drive that we did, my children begged me to put on kids' music because I listen to my music in the car. It's my music.
If you're driving, it's your choice.
Exactly. But I didn't want to listen to kids screaming for 14 hours, so right. I put on the Disney station, and then got hit by every song off of the Lion King soundtrack.
Oh, that's good stuff.
And every song off of the Aladdin soundtrack.
Also good stuff.
And could not stop myself from boldly and loudly singing the songs in the car every time. And like there's so few, and like real diverse songs in that particular Pandora station, right? Yeah. That it would just repeat. And my 4-year-old in the back, what movie is this from? What movie is this from? What movie is this from? And I would say it, and then it's over.
Right.
It's over. Now I'm singing the parts, and I'm doing the harmonies, and I can't harmonize for crap.
Right.
Right. Except for the Disney songs, I know them so well. Right.
They're part of our
that's just what I do.
they're part of our inner consciousness. Right.
Right. Exactly.
Hakuna Matata. Like my wife will text me that, and I know exactly what she's talking about. It's like like there's no need for more words.
That's right. So yes, absolutely. I will pull a Flavor Ray instead of having a midnight to 2 a.m. rant on my phone in the car. I will record myself.
That sounds
doing that.
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome.
We'll have to post that.
That'll be
challenge.
One of our bonus material on the website, which we will be having bonus material on the website. One of the bonus things will be my rant that I did at 2 a.m. and another piece will be Say Oh No Pain, singing some Disney tunes for you. Ben, you got anything?
It's hard because I spend so much time like telling pretty much people who won't listen or
right.
Will listen or
like I've been shouting my life story for years.
Right. Yeah, I haven't really changed that much. I think probably the thing, even though like you and Mike know this,
mm-hmm.
I feel like most people don't know this about me.
Okay.
I have a thing for shoes.
Yeah.
Like, in to the extent that I say most people don't know about this, like, I have lied to people about how much I spend on shoes for most of my adult life.
Yeah.
So, for instance, do you remember when you first met me, say, back in...
11?
Yeah, no, it
10,
would have been 12 or 13.
12, 13,
okay, I bought a pair of custom-made low leather boots that I wore forever.
Yes, I do remember those.
Okay, and I told everybody they cost like $89.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was $289.
But I get it, right?
Like, so, I literally spent $300 on a pair of boots for myself.
Dude, if you knew how fucking broke we all were,
I know.
I would have lied too. I would have said that shit to nobody.
Right.
It's kind of funny because, like, not too long after I got married, I had done a New Jersey trip with the wife, and she had brought me to a Nordstrom, and they have a sale during the Christmas time, right?
Yeah.
Big sale, and like I was like, this is not what I do, right? I don't buy clothes. I'm just not. But she brought me to the shoe rack, and she's like, you need new shoes, right? And I'm like, this is ridiculous, right? This is the clearance rack for shoes, and they cost $200 a piece,
Right.
Right. And I tried 2 pairs of shoes on, and I said, I have to have these.
I'm taking
I
both
have to have them.
Right.
I don't even care.
And see, it's funny because like Sarah and I planned our house for like 20 years before we built it.
Yeah.
And I have regretted from day one thing about that house. And I love that house. It is the perfect house.
I bet I know what it is.
I just don't have a big enough space for all my shoes.
He does not have
I don't have a
space for
shoe
himself
closet.
in that house.
So we had the same problem at home with my wife. She has so many shoes, right? And she got one of those over-the-door shoe caddy things, right?
Yeah.
And I love and hate this thing. Why? Well, because all of her high heels are on display. So I love that.
Right.
But the thing pulls the door. So
Right.
if you don't close the door all the way, the door just stays
Yeah,
open.
yeah,
I'm
just
like,
stays
I don't
open.
want my door
See,
open.
I don't really have doors in my house either.
Yeah, you got the sliders.
Okay, thing about me. The only thing that came to mind right away was my wife is into genealogy research, and so she like researched my family tree a few years back, and turns out I am related. I can't remember. She'll correct me on this. I can't remember if I'm related by marriage or blood to Super Bowl champion New York Giant Michael Strahan.
Fuck yeah.
Michael Strahan's family is from Jasper in Newton, Texas.
Okay.
And back in my family tree, Molly Strahan from that clan married into one of the Negroes that we were back in the day.
In the day.
And like she's like my great grandmother or great grandmother.
I think what we need to do is try to get a call in to that morning show that Michael
Well,
Strahan was on,
here's the fucking thing about that.
and see if we
Michael
can get him
Strahan went on the celebrity genealogy show.
Yeah.
Like he went on that, and they like did his whole family tree.
Yeah.
And like they trace his ass back all the way to literally Charlemagne
Yeah.
in France. Like
Yeah.
he's like royalty.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like said I was like, Martha, does that mean that, I go all the way back to Charlemagne? And she looks at me, she goes, I think it's my marriage. She doesn't know that, but she's not going to give me that.
She's probably just telling you that to keep your ego from
Exactly.
feeding itself.
So I don't go out and buy a big fucking floral crown and walk around my house.
Right.
Like, no, not you.
King Ray.
I always knew I was special, damn it. This is proof. I'm gonna go talk to my cousin, Michael Strahan, cousin Strahan. Let's talk about this family tree, brother.
You gotta come on my podcast.
Oh my god,
The dogs might be too loud, but you gotta come on my podcast.
dude. If I'm ever able to meet Michael Strahan,
Yeah.
I'm one of the things. Like I'm not gonna come like an asshole. Like,
Don't bring up. Don't do this again.
Yeah,
when you meet Michael Strahan.
Okay. When I meet Michael Strahan, and I'm going to meet Michael Strahan, obviously. When I meet Michael Strahan, I'm not going to be a douche and talk about how we're related, so he can come on my podcast. I am just going to say, hey man, I know a really good barbecue joint down in Lufkin, Texas. That's a lie. And I was going to bring him down here, cook for him, and then just sort of have a mic open on the table while we're eating.
Yeah.
Like I know that's a little bit that's a little bit underhanded,
No, I probably go for it.
but it's a Super Bowl champion. I cannot.
Well, and it's a Super Bowl champion of epic proportions. Because,
Epic proportion.
Yeah, that people don't understand the difference between even the 80s in the NFL and the 90s in the NFL. They were already starting to get some protection and some rules.
Right.
But in the 80s in the NFL, I mean, it was literally gladiators in the arena. Like, oh, what, you dislocated your shoulder?
Well,
like,
fuck you.
Yeah, get back on the field.
Get back on the field. Like, no one cares. So, yeah, people don't understand how much pain they put themselves through then. But That I think that wraps up the something, and we'll try to do this more consistently.
Yeah,
as
we'll drop like little factoids here and there, just little things about us.
Right, exactly. But I do think we should get that. Poll up about the sexiest voice on Tattooed with Children. I think that's the poll
because
we were going to put up.
Listeners are clamoring for that fucking poll.
Right, I think they
We
are.
all wanna hear that.
I think they are.
I mean,
right. I mean,
every time.
Hey, I listen to this podcast. I'm a listener. So yeah, I think we're gonna try to record some more. Guys, we appreciate your feedback. Please keep giving it to us. Message us. Let us know what you think.
Dude, if it's negative, don't think that it's negative. Like, if you have something bad to say, that you feel it's probably not as bad as you think. Just tell us what's going on, man. Because
we believe
still
in
new.
you.
We're still new, and we trust you implicitly.
We dig your authenticity,
and I will absolutely call you a motherfucker on this podcast.
Yeah,
so
it's not a problem.
So definitely give us some feedback and let us say shit about you.
Yeah, all motherfuckers are welcome.
Right, but no, that we're not going to do that, guys.
And
you can put that in the post. You can say, hey, I don't mind y'all talking about this on the air. Also, if you want us to give a shout out to your business, holler at us. We'll be more than happy to do that. Just for a little bit of feedback on sound quality, content quality, topic quality. We are having the time of our lives learning about this, and we're trying to get better and better.
We're trying to get better every day. We love local businesses, and so if local businesses get a hold of us, we're not charged for advertising. We're not like we don't do that. But we are definitely advocates for those who are working hard every day. So just drop any communication with us, and we will definitely mention you. This is Tattoo with Children. You can find us on Facebook at Tattoo with Children, or on IG at Tattoo with Children. You can also find us on Twitter at Tattoo with Because Fuck Jack. And you can find me at Madara Shadow on Instagram, or at Hunter Vanguard on Twitter. That's Hunter Vanguard, all one word. You can find Ben at Black Pro Brother on IG, and at Black Spot Tattoo Company also on IG. And you can find Mike at CIO Payne on Instagram. All right, that's the show, guys. We're going to go for our last smoke break, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Love you.
We were born to bring it back, but it's more than basic. It's a portion of his rap, but the core is ancient. It's supported like a pack of some more observations. They're important like the fact that we're bored of fake shit. More creative, have the floor, so take it. Travel to the tour is